America is a country built on the idea of freedom. Open roads, national parks, the right to go wherever you want, see whatever you choose. But here's what they don't put on the postcards. There are places inside this country, real existing places, that are completely, officially, and in some cases violently off limits to you. No public access, no tours, no exceptions, not because they don't exist, but because someone with a great deal of power decided you were never supposed to know about them. Today, we're counting down 23 of those places. Place 23, Bohemian Grove, Monterey, California, every summer. Some of the most powerful men in the world, former presidents, CEOs, military officials, gather in a dense redwood forest in Northern California called Bohemian Grove. The 2,700-acre private camp has hosted guests like Richard Nixon, Henry Kissinger, and George H.W. Bush. What happens inside is officially described as a summer retreat. What the public is allowed to see is exactly nothing. The property is strictly private, patrolled year-round, and completely closed to outsiders. You can stand on the road outside. That's as far as you go. Place 22, Mount Weather Emergency Operations Center, Virginia. Buried inside a mountain in the Blue Ridge Range, sits one of the most secure government facilities in the United States. Mount Weather is a full underground city, capable of housing the entire executive branch of the U.S. government in the event of a national catastrophe. It has its own power plant, water supply, hospital, and residential quarters. The facility has existed since the 1950s, managed by FEMA. Most of its operations remain classified. You will not be visiting. Place 21, Dulce Base, New Mexico, alleged. On the surface, Dulce, New Mexico is a quiet town on the Jicarilla Apache Nation reservation near the Colorado border. Underground, according to decades of declassified documents, whistleblower accounts, and government facility records, something else entirely may exist. A deep underground facility, allegedly shared between military contractors and federal agencies, that no civilian has ever officially confirmed or denied. Whether you believe the claims or not, access to what lies beneath that land is not something you'll ever be granted. Place 20, Cheyenne Mountain Complex, Colorado. Built to survive a nuclear blast. The Cheyenne Mountain Complex is carved 2,000 feet into solid granite in the Colorado Rockies. For decades, it served as the command center for North American aerospace defense. The buildings inside sit on enormous steel springs to absorb shock waves. The facility is active, operational, and not open to the public. The mountain entrance is sealed behind a 25-ton blast door. Place 19, Plum Island Animal Disease Center. New York Plum Island sits just off the tip of Long Island, and for decades it was home to one of the most secretive research facilities in America, a laboratory dedicated to studying dangerous animal diseases, including foot and mouth disease. The island is accessible only by government ferry. No civilians are permitted. The facility is currently being decommissioned, but the land remains federal property and the island remains completely off limits. Place 18, Room 641A, AT&T Building, San Francisco, California. This one isn't a mountain or a military base. It's a room inside an ordinary-looking AT&T switching facility on Folsom Street in San Francisco. In 2006, a whistleblower revealed that Room 641A contains a secret NSA surveillance installation, a room full of equipment capable of intercepting and copying vast amounts of internet traffic flowing across the country. The room exists. AT&T confirmed the building. The NSA has never commented. You will never get inside. Place 17, Snake Island, Ilha da Queimada Grande. São Paulo, U.S. military equivalent, San Clemente Island. California. San Clemente Island, 68 miles off the coast of San Diego, is an active U.S. Navy training range. The entire island is restricted military property. It's used for live fire exercises, special operations training, and weapons testing. Civilian access is permanently prohibited. The Navy has maintained the island since 1934, and that isn't changing. Place 16, Area 51, Lincoln County, Nevada. You already know the name. But knowing the name and getting anywhere near it are two entirely different things. Area 51 is a highly classified U.S. Air Force installation at Groom Lake in the Nevada desert. The restricted airspace begins miles before you can see any structure. Armed guards patrol the perimeter. Sensors line the boundary roads. Signs make the consequences of trespassing extremely clear. The facility develops and tests classified aircraft and weapon systems. Everything else is officially unknown. Place 15. The Greenbrier Bunker, White Sulphur Springs, West Virginia. For nearly 30 years, beneath the luxury Greenbrier Resort in the mountains of West Virginia, the U.S. government maintained a secret congressional bunker, a fully equipped underground facility designed to house all 535 members of Congress in the event of nuclear war. The bunker was declassified in 1992 after a journalist exposed it. Today, a portion is open for tours, but the operational areas, the decommissioned infrastructure that still lines the tunnels, and the classified documents associated with it, those remain sealed. Place 14. Raven Rock Mountain Complex, Site R. Pennsylvania Raven Rock is essentially the military's version of Mount Weather, a self-contained underground city carved into a mountain on the Maryland-Pennsylvania border. It serves as an alternate command center for the Department of Defense, capable of operating completely independently from the surface. The facility is active, staffed around the clock, and closed to every civilian on Earth. Places 13 through 1. The final countdown, visual cue, rapid-fire countdown with map pins and aerial shots. 3. Granite Mountain Records Vault, Utah, the Mormon Church's underground genealogical archive, sealed in a climate-controlled vault inside a mountain, not open to the public. Meow Wolf's classified R&D facility, New Mexico, internal creative labs. Not public. White Sands Missile Range, New Mexico, active missile testing grounds, high 200 square miles. Off-limits are 10, Dugway Proving Ground, Utah, biological and chemical weapons testing since 1942. Closed pre-tree, Naval Support Facility Thurmont, Camp David, Maryland, Presidential Retreat. No civilian access ever. In Fort Knox, Kentucky, 147 million ounces of gold. The vault hasn't been audited since 1953-7. Hanford Site, Washington, the most contaminated nuclear site in the Western Hemisphere. Restricted. Pine Gap, Alice Springs, U.S.-Australia Joint Defense Facility. Civilian exclusion zone extends for miles. Kennecott Copper Mine Restricted Zones. Utah, vast areas surrounding the mine are federally controlled and off-limits. Edison Mission Energy Restricted Airspace. Mojave, classified aerospace testing adjacent to Edwards Air Force Base. The Homestead Air Reserve Base underground vaults. Florida hardened Cold War infrastructure. Still classified. NSA Data Center, Bluffdale, Utah. The facility that stores an almost incomprehensible volume of intercepted communications. 1 million square feet, zero public access. The White House Situation Room, Washington, D.C. You can tour the public rooms. But 60 feet below the West Wing, real decisions get made in a room you will never see. These aren't myths. They aren't conspiracy theories. They are real locations, funded, staffed, and actively maintained, that exist within your country's borders. And every single one of them is closed to you. The question isn't whether these places exist. The question is, what else are we not allowed to know? If this video pulled back the curtain even a little, subscribe and we'll keep going.